Well, we're going to start off, though, with something that I'm very excited to talk about. You know, forever we've been staring at the sky and looking at the stars, but there have been some advancements with space telescopes that have just been mind-blowing, all of the information we're able to gather. And a brand new space telescope is about to transform our understanding of the universe, and it's almost ready for the launch pad. NASA's Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is a first-of-its-kind observatory on a mission to map the cosmos one panoramic frame at a time. And it's ahead of schedule, set to launch 8 months earlier than planned. Now, joining us right now is Dr. Begoña Vila from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center to tell us more about the telescope before it begins its 1 million-mile journey. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Vila. I gotta believe folks at NASA are so excited that this is running ahead of schedule.
Yes, good morning. Yes, we are. Many years of work, and as you say, ahead of schedule, and we are almost ready for that launch at the beginning of September. So we are very excited.
You know, we've seen some of the images, and it was amazing, you know, when we first had Hubble up there, we were like, wow. Then the James Webb Space Telescope, you're thinking, oh my goodness, what are we getting? This next one, another step. For people that are just hearing about this for the first time, what is the Roman Space Telescope, and what is it really designed to do?
Yes, this is a great complement, as you mentioned, to Hubble and Webb. So this telescope is able to take an image of the sky, which is more than 100 times wider than the ones that Hubble and Webb can give us. So it's going to give us the big picture, a panoramic view, so we can look for all those objects, you know, galaxies, planets, stars, and it's going to give us clues for something that we don't know what it is yet, which is what we call the dark matter and the dark energy, but those two components determine the fate of our universe. So, you know, we are going to learn a lot with this telescope, and also we are keep looking for these planets around other stars, and once again, Roman is going to advance that a lot compared with what we have at the moment.
It's amazing, you know, we see the stars, we see these lights in the sky, but it's that dark energy and the dark matter that, you know, makes up all of this expanse between all of these points of light, and it's really interesting. This is going to be able to give us some more insight to that. Before we jump into more about the telescope, can we come back to the name for just a moment? Nancy Grace Roman, okay? Who was Nancy Grace Roman, and again, why is this telescope named in her honor?
Yes, this is the first space telescope named after a woman, so that's very special. She was the first chief astronomer at NASA in the time when Hubble was being developed. She's called sometimes the mother of Hubble. She was key not only as a scientist, but on developing this idea that we could launch space telescopes, gather all that data above the atmosphere, and send it here to the ground so we could all see the universe with new eyes. So it's very special that it is named after her.
Yeah, it seems very, very appropriate. You know, it's so exciting now, and I've done several interviews with folks from NASA and all of the brilliant minds and so many brilliant women. You've had a huge role in this project. Can you talk to us a little bit about your personal experience and how things have been progressing? What's your perspective?
Yeah, I am so happy to be part of this amazing team. I'm part of the systems team. I did the planning and leading of one of the tests that we need when we put a telescope into space. We have to run these tests to duplicate the conditions that the observatory will see in space, pulling vacuum and cooling down the temperatures. Those tests are really hard for the team because we work 24/7 for over 2 months. So that was very exciting. And also now I'm looking after the guiding instrument, which is what helps this observatory to point to the right locations in the sky once it's on orbit, and then it keeps it steady. So the images that we take are stable, they are not moving. And I think for all of us, it has been such an exciting journey. We are so excited. We are so close to that launch and seeing what we can do do on orbit. So special times here.
When you take these panoramics and these super wide shots, that's why that camera stability that you're talking about, it's so important that the instrumentation is like that. What would you say, what are the biggest highlights about the instruments or capabilities that really set this one apart?
Yes, we mentioned a little bit the fact that this observatory can take an image 100 times or more bigger than what Hubble and Webb can do. And that is done because it has 18 cameras, 4K, really big cameras that allow that big view. So that's one of the key instruments. But we're also launching with another instrument, which is what we call a coronagraph. That's a fancy word that says we are looking for planets around other stars. We have to, one of the ways to find them is to cover the light of the star and then see if you can find the planets around them. That's really hard to do. We are flying this new instrument that removes the light of the star thanks to some mirrors. So we'll be able to find planets that are closer to the star, and that's going to be key on what we're trying to do, which is find eventually something like the Earth around another star.
It's amazing. It really is. And I know we've got to let you go here. We just have a few moments left. I know also with the distance now that this is going to be out, Earth won't be in the way. We'll be able to get more clear looks and longer looks at our at the universe as well. Any last thoughts that you would share with people that are interested in knowing about this? And when do you expect Roman to launch again?
Yes, it will be launching at the beginning of September, so I encourage all of you to watch the launch and then look for those first images. And you can follow us at nasa.gov/Roman and on social media with that hashtag Roman and NASA Roman. So we'll keep you informed of these exciting times coming up.
It is such a great time for space exploration and the work NASA is doing. Dr. Vila, thank you so much for your time this morning and joining us from the Weather Desk.
Thank you.